I love to frame when I talk about U.S. politics on this channel that the vast majority of you guys are not from the USA. I have a very international audience. I think that's really awesome. Only a third of people that watch any of my channels across YouTube are from the U.S. It might be a little bit higher than that. It might be like maybe closer to 40% instead of 33%, but the vast majority of people are coming outside of the U.S., so I'm thinking like the UK, the Philippines, India, Canada, Germany. Those are just a couple to name a few off the top. So that's how I'm going to frame this video as best I can. Obviously, if you've heard, there's been a lot of chaotic situations, a lot of chaos inside of the U.S. with the very big political assassination of Charlie Kirk. And yeah, and then all of the fallout after that. There's been a lot of fallout, and I think there's going to continue to be fallout. But yeah, there is a dude that would go on campus and he would debate students, and that guy got shot. And it's controversial to say, but I think that's bad. That's the state of U.S. politics. I have to state that killing your political opponents is a bad idea. Is not good. We have to now say that. But yeah, there's a bunch of people that celebrated it online, and that is the state. That's how bad things are kind of getting over here. It reminds me of here's the thing. So chaos and violence. As someone that like studies history, is a huge fan of history, I don't believe this moment is quite as bad as like the 1960s and 70s of the United States. I mean, at that, you'd have political assassinations every year. I don't think we're at that level just yet, but it does worry me. I don't think that we're ramping up to necessarily get to that same area, but I think we're dealing with entirely different problems. And if you're coming from an international viewpoint, you know that the internet and social media is causing a lot of division and a lot of issues within each country. The more I travel, the more I find how fascinating it is that that a lot of other countries deal with the same divide that the U.S. is. There's a gender divide. There's a massive gender divide between men and women. There's an urban versus rural divide. Cities are voting different than the rural areas. So those are some similarities, and then we're being divided by social media. And I think a big suggestion that I can tell young people, and sometimes not even young people, but a big thing is to please go touch grass. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be mean. It really is like a touch grass sort of medicine. I've seen that before talked about by another influencer that I know, Mr. Beat. I saw him recently on my TikTok. He was on a podcast, and it was a TikTok highlight, and he was telling people to touch grass. And that was the exact thing that I wanted to come out here and tell people. I wanted to be like, please, like, leave your house. Please engage in conversation. That's the weird thing about the Charlie Kirk situation was it's like, you don't have to like what he said. And to be quite honest, I didn't agree with a lot of the things he said. But weirdly, what he was doing helped. And people don't realize that okay, there's political division, but I mean like what he was doing in terms of just talking to people would help, I think, a lot of people. You know what I mean? You don't got to say the things he was saying, but going out there and meeting people that think differently from you, so you can maybe, I don't know, come eye to eye, come more, just to get to know why someone thinks the way they do. I love to get out of I don't love to, but I try to actively try my best to get out of my echo chambers and try to seek out what an alternative opinion is on a certain matter or a certain topic. I think it's very important to not play team politics. I know that's kind of weird. It's like a weird concept to people, but I don't think that you should always be like, everything that the Democratic Party is for, I'm also for. Or everything that the Republican Party is for, I'm also for. That is not the way to do things. And it scares me because a lot of people don't understand that concept. And I thought that's kind of an obvious thing, that you want to form your own opinions. It's okay to have an opinion from this side of the aisle and this side of the aisle, maybe a majority of your opinions are coming from one side of the aisle. That's fine. But, to be 100%, whatever this side says, that's what I agree with. You're going to be made to look like a fool. I'm sorry to say, but you're going to look like a hack. I mean, that's what they say online. You gotta form your own opinions. For instance, what I think is very interesting right now is I feel this move currently, where the left of the U.S. is trying to now become the free speech party, or at least the free speech warriors, and that is crazy to me, because for the last 10 years they have been the exact opposite of that. That's an interesting move, but I think that that's good. As a massive free speech person, that I think if both parties can embrace free speech, that is great progress, because as far as I've been concerned, the last 10 years, the American left has absolutely not been the party of freedom of speech. I could tell you that. I mean, that sounds hilarious to say out loud, but it's just true that you have been condemned and punished for speaking your mind. And if you don't think if you don't think what is the popular thing to think, then you are going to be punished for it. So anyway, it's an interesting time, because this is the first time where I'm like, whoa. I haven't heard the left in the U.S. talk about the the First Amendment in literally 10 years. I feel like 2013 is when things got, which is weird, because when I look back at my political awakening, when I started getting political, it was 2008, not political, but when I started noticing politics for the very first time in my life, it was 2008. And for those first 5 years there, that was kind of that maybe even younger than that, maybe even earlier than that. But for my whole life, the left was the freedom of speech party. And they, during the Bush administration, when Bush invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, you had to be, the media was very pro that move, and it felt like the only people that were speaking their mind was the left. And I think even before that, I mean, I don't remember much of the 90s, and I wasn't around in the 80s, but I had thought that a lot of my research that the left was always the pro First Amendment party. And then somewhere things got fucked randomly, really fucked. And I think it was 2013, and things switched. They swapped, where the right became the freedom of speech party, and the left was very anti-speech. And this is the first moments in the last maybe 12 years where I'm like, whoa, left going back to their roots? What is this? What the hell is this? But anyways, I'm big on that. I'm a creator. I've been making videos for I have videos online from YouTube since 2006. So I have to be a big freedom of speech person. You just say dumb things. And I think the problem is, I think a lot of young people don't realize that, you probably should be a freedom of speech person, whether you have an online voice or not, just because you might think you're saying the right things right now, but let me tell you, as a middle-aged man, I thought I've always said the right things, and then all of a sudden the bar moves 10 years later, and and all of a sudden what you were saying in 2013, that's not okay anymore. You thought you were saying everything right, and then the bar moves, and now with hindsight, it's oh, that was wrong. You weren't supposed to say that. Oh, you're in trouble. Oh, you're canceled. So even if you are the most champion of the people person, and your speech you feel is 100% every word that comes out of your mouth is the right thing, let me just tell you, that bar moves, and the bar is not going to stop moving, because man, I've theorized about this a lot. What do you think is going to be a cancelable offense in 100 years from now? Do you think it's the neglect of homeless people? That's what I think oftentimes. I feel like when we figure out what a better policy, a better way to handle the homeless epidemic, I think that we're going to look back. They're going to look back at us and be like, "Damn, you guys are horrible. You guys didn't do shit about that. You guys just walked over them. You didn't, there are some policies that try to, homeless shelters and things like that, but that's always what my mind goes to, is I feel like future generations, maybe they'll figure that out. But who knows? whether it's homelessness or who knows. Maybe saying the word clanker is actually going to be offensive. Which, you know what? What's funny is I made a video on my gaming channel playing as Botswana back there, and they're Botswana, and it's supposed to be like a robot pun. And so I framed this gaming video about me playing as the nation of Botswana and making a lot of robots, like drones and robotics to fight wars and things like that. So I made the title like Building a Clanker Army or something like that. And I got demonetized by YouTube. I was like, what? Wait, is this actually, I thought that was, what? Maybe it could have been another reason, but I was really shocked because I'd seen other creators say clanker. Maybe this video is going to get, anyways, point is, the bar moves. So maybe all those memes of the clanker memes and all the other robotic mean words that we had made up, bro, in 100 years from now, robots are going to be walking around, and who knows, they might find that stuff offensive. I bet you if I open up ChatGPT right now and ask her if she thinks clanker's offensive, the way they program that stuff nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised. My ChatGPT, I saw her lecture me one time about something. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm like, bro, you're so lame. Who programmed you like this? Like, we gotta get that out of here. But anyways, it was, I don't even know what it was about. Taking care of myself or something like that, but I thought it was funny. Anyways, I don't even think I fully dived into everything I wanted to dive into today, but that was just the off the cuff thing that I wanted to discuss. Let me know what you think. See ya.